and welcome to a Talking Comics special. I'm here with Chris Claremont, everybody. Go on, give a round of applause. Thank you. Hello Chris, welcome to Talking Comics.
Thank you.
We're here at Limited Edition Comics, where there's a great range, as always. Thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Where do I begin? First of all, let me, if you don't know Chris Claremont, which you must have been hiding under a rock for many years if you're into comics, he's a world record holder. X-Men 1, the biggest selling comic of all time.
Well, modern history, certainly.
Modern history. And we've also talking Dark Phoenix Saga. We're talking Captain Britain. We're talking Wolverine.
Yes.
Well, we're in Britain.
That's true.
So, first of all,
yes,
you've been with Marvel a very long time.
Yes.
Is there any intention to go to the other side, should we say, the DC?
Been there, came back.
Yes.
Not at the moment.
No. Is there any?
And all possibilities are on the table.
We've got the new 52 that's now gone on. But is there any particular characters that you would, think about you'd really like to take on? Is there specific characters that
I've pretty much taken on all. I mean, I've done Superman, I've done Wonder Woman, I've done Batman, I've done Bruce Wayne, which was far more fun. I've done the Justice League.
Yeah.
Again, it is fun. It would be a great giggle.
Yeah.
If a brilliant story comes to mind for them or for the FF or for the X-Men even, I'm more than happy to pitch it. But as far as a career-moving sort of thing,
yeah,
it's very much a matter of been there, done that.
Yeah.
I mean, but if I had my choice, if there was something I would really, really love to write, Dan Dare.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I grew up reading it.
Sure.
It would be a stitch doing Dan Dare. Unfortunately, that I got beaten to that.
I mean, the reason I asked you about the new 52 is because it's almost like they're starting again, basically. So you'd have more freedom to push back some of the boundaries that maybe you felt constricted by canon from the last.
I didn't feel constricted.
No.
I mean, it's the decision to relaunch everything. That's an editing decision, a publishing decision. It can be looked at as a good thing or a bad thing. By the same token, Marvel is undergoing a fairly extensive version. Their fairly extensive version of that with the books that they're doing.
Yeah.
Whether or not it is a brilliant idea is a matter solely for the publishers and the retailers and the current readers.
Yeah.
I have my own vision of what comics I like, what stories I like, what characters I like, and how they're treated. That may not be as relevant today as it might have seemed 20 years ago or 20 weeks ago. But it's both legitimate as a reader and totally irrelevant to the publishing plan of the company.
I assume you're still with Marvel then?
Yes.
And are we going to see a Marvel now, Chris Claremont?
That is something you'd have to discuss with Axel Alonso and the other editors. The decision on whether or not a book is pitched and launched is ultimately theirs.
If there was anything that you'd like to add to the Marvel now, I mean, do you have something already in mind that you're thinking, yeah, I would really like to do that, I think it would work?
Well, a year or so ago, Alan Davis and I kicked around the idea of doing another arc of Excalibur.
Excalibur now.
Or then. With Alan, it doesn't really matter, it's all brilliant. So that would be fun. The reason I'm not on the Marvel Now stuff is that at the moment the editors have a stable of writers and creators that they are very happy with, simpatico with, that they feel bring the voice and the story presentation that is appropriate to the modern audience and to the structure that Marvel is establishing now, and they want to go with that. I mean, if I were an editor-in-chief and I had Brian Bendis wanting to structure A, B, C, D, and X, I'd go with that.
Right.
That's a perfectly legitimate opinion for any publisher to have.
We've seen A versus X, and the Phoenix Force has had a big impact on that run, and you know, obviously we saw the Dark Phoenix saga some time ago. How do you feel about something that you did a long time ago now becoming, you know, coming round again, cycling round once more to become the main focus of, say, the Marvel comic industry?
Oh, that's a conflicting question, because my fundamental reaction as a reader is to wonder why the creators don't think of an even better idea of their own. I mean, it's all very well to recycle, let's say, Galactus, but can you really beat Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's interpretation of Galactus? Why not explore the possibility of coming up with something unique unto yourself as a writer, to the current era of readers and heroes, and define something new for the second decade of the 21st century that would be as memorable and as lasting as Galactus.
So you don't necessarily feel that the cycling of comic storylines is where things should be going? You think that we should be developing brand new things, and we should be seeing an exploration of areas unknown, in effect?
Well, as a reader, I'm always much more intrigued by what is down the road, not what is behind me. My opinion as a writer and an editor in a mainstream publishing setup might be somewhat different, but in this instance, I'm speaking purely as someone who picks up a book, opens it, and wants to see what's inside. And what I would like to see is something I haven't seen before, something that draws me in, that makes me go wow, that makes me want to turn the page to see what happens next, and care about the characters, and feel joy at their successes, sorrow at their failures, frustration that I might have to wait a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks for the next chapter or the conclusion of the story. Is
your next step to be going back into the creator-owned then and pushing something?
Well, I've been in the creator-owned.
Yeah.
I did arcs of series for Image.
Yeah.
In the 90s. I've done comics based on my own concepts, but the inherent challenge of doing creator-owned comics, much like doing corporate-owned comics, is finding the right creative team, finding the right venue, finding the right marketplace. We thought a few years ago that we had a good potential series with X-Men Forever, but the reality that we ran into, full speed unfortunately, is that within the current marketplace, while you had a great many readers who were interested by the characters, excited by the stories, excited by seeing my work, Forever was one book, one X title, standing against 2 or 3 dozen integrated monthly current X titles. And when push came to shove, retailers and the audience, times are tough, Forever was a more expensive title, they tended to err on the side of the stuff that to them mattered in the overall modern scheme of things, rather than a standalone that was reaching back to an arc that had begun when they were kids. I mean, babies.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the business.
So right now,
in these days,
yeah,
doing a creator-owned comic series, it's difficult. It's even harder to get it. It's hard to get it published. Once it's out, it's hard to get it to sell. And quite frankly, I've been doing it for 40 years, yeah, and I figured it was time for a change. So I've been focusing more recently on prose, where the only person I have to yell at is me. And the only person I have to complain about is me.
Right.
So there's
It's self-criticism.
It's exercising different muscles.
Yeah.
And having fun along different lines.
Well, whatever happens in the future, Chris, I'm looking forward to your next title.
Me too.
And I look forward to you coming on board and then doing what they need to do to get you on board. So first of all, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for coming down here with all the fans. Give them a round of applause, everyone, please.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you again in Britain soon.
Well, the pleasure is mine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.